Hello there, you're now with me, Shal Chamato, for TVS English News at 5. Let's begin with the headlines. The body of a man who is feared drowned after he fell into the Rajang River on Saturday was found on Monday morning. According to Cebu Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Chief Andy Ali, the body of 48-year-old Hee Ki Soon was found floating by members of the public at around 8:40 a.m., approximately 9.6 kilometers from the location he was last seen.
Mangsa telah dijumpai dalam keadaan terlungkup dan hanyut sejauh 9.6 km dari lokasi mangsa dilaporkan terjatuh pada hari Sabtu. Pasukan mencari dan menyelamat SAR kemudian membawa mangsa menggunakan bot bomba ke pos kawalan bomba PKB di Wharf Express Darong.
The body was later handed over to the police for further action. In the Saturday, August 19th incident, the man, identified to be a dock worker, was believed to have drowned after he fell into the river while loading goods into an express boat.
On to the next highlight. Sarawak Premier Dato' Pedigi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, together with his delegation, have safely arrived in Stockholm, Sweden, for a 2-day official working visit to the country. The Sarawak Premier previously announced the state government's intention to strengthen the role and function of the Ombudsman and is modelling after Sweden the draft of the Sarawak Ombudsman Ordinance.
During the working visit, Abang Johari and his delegation will also meet with Sweden's energy authorities and power operators to discuss business opportunities. Later, they will head to Norway with the aim of acquiring an understanding of carbon capture and storage, CCS, as well as hydrogen facilities in Bergen. They will also meet with Norwegian Ministry of Petroleum and Energy to discuss with the country's industry players on CCS initiatives, net zero emissions, and decarbonization. Abang Johari will end the trip in London, where he will hold a meeting with Shell's top officials at its headquarters. Accompanying the Premier are Sarawak's Deputy Minister of Energy and Environmental Sustainability, Dr. Hazlan Abang Hipni, Deputy Minister in the Sarawak's Premier Department, Integrity and Ombudsman, Dato' Juwanda Jaya, as well as Deputy Minister in the Sarawak's Premier Department, Law MA63 and State Federal Relations, Dato' Sharifah Hasida Said Aman Ghazali. Also participating in the work visit is the wife of the Sarawak's Premier, Puan Seri Dato' Ama Jumaini Tun Tuanku Bujang.
The just concluded KUCHING Food Fest 2023 has achieved the 1 million visitor mark, making it another successful run for the 24-day festival. The event, which was held from July 28 to August 20, saw its biggest turnout on its penultimate day, with over 90,000 visitors recorded in a single night.
Kuching South City Council MBKS Mayor Dato' Wee Hong Seng said the attendance to this year's festival is reaching last year's figure of 1.3 million. In a Facebook post congratulating the event, Deputy Premier and Minister for Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Koo Hyun, thanked all the parties and vendors involved in making the event a success. The annual food festival, held on MBKS grounds, offers a wide variety of food and drinks, including the UNESCO Creative Cities Network UCCN Chef's Table at the Kuching Creative City Pavilion.
The Ministry of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development Sarawak is conducting a comprehensive study in preparation for the state to be an ageing state by 2028. Its Minister Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah said the multi-agency and multi-ministry study would allow for better policies to be formulated.
Now, in order for us untuk sedia Sarawak menghadapi situasi di mana kita menjadi negeri tua pada 2028, kita perlu berkolaborasi dengan kementerian-kementerian lain. Kalau kita bercakap tentang aging, kita akan bercakap tentang kesihatan. So kesihatan itu bukan di bawah kementerian kami. Jadi another ministry. Kemudian bila kita bercakap tentang aging, ianya berkaitan dengan rumah, tempat tinggal. Jadi ini juga di bawah another ministry. Transport misalnya, ya, untuk warga emas kita. Lepas itu untuk riadah misalnya. So a cabinet committee yang terdiri daripada pelbagai kementerian akan ditubuhkan dan kita bentangkan kepada kabinet, dan action plan for successful aging in Sarawak. Apa yang sesuai bagi orang kita di Sarawak.
She added the ministry has also conducted several study visits to other countries such as the Netherlands and Singapore to emulate their intergenerational support systems and best practices to care for the aging community.
Satu daripada perkara yang kami pelajari daripada negeri maju, seperti di Singapura, seperti di Netherlands, ialah community. Di situ ada satu community yang terdiri daripada warga emas. Jadi kita tahu bahawa warga emas kita, dia mahu hidup, aging in place. Ini kita juga pelajari daripada lawatan kami. Aging in place maknanya si mau pindah ke rumah Sri Kenangan. Jangankah saya di rumah Sri Kenangan. Pun walaupun ada anaknya mau tinggal di rumahnya pun, anaknya kerja di bandar, si mau ikut anaknya, mau masih juga aging in place. Kalau inilah nanti daripada kajian kita lihat betul hasrat warga emas kita mahu, they want to age in place. So apa yang perlu kita buat dari segi berbagai kementerian, dari segi apa yang kerajaan boleh buat, apa yang kementerian-kementerian tentu boleh buat, that is to provide that social support.
Aging is one of the 14 issues identified under her ministry. It is estimated that by 2030, 15% of the state's total population will consist of elderly citizens aged 60 years and above.
Welcome back. The cockpit voice recorder, CVR, of the Elmina crash airplane has been sent to a laboratory in Singapore for further analysis. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook said that the Malaysian Air Accident Investigation Bureau faced some difficulties in retrieving data from the charged CVR, whose memory puck was still intact.
Pakar-pakar mereka juga datang ke Malaysia pada hari yang sama, dan pada hari Sabtu yang lalu peralatan tersebut, recorder tersebut telah dibuka untuk mendapatkan memory plug tersebut. Jadi memory plug tersebut telah pun dikeluarkan daripada recorder tersebut, dan memory plug tersebut didapati bahawa masih dalam keadaan yang baik, dan oleh sebab kita tak ada peralatan untuk retrieve data tersebut, data record tersebut. Jadi memory park tersebut telah pun dihantar ke Singapura pada hari Ahad yang lalu.
He said this when speaking at a press conference after attending the Ministry Semarak Merdeka ceremony and monthly assembly on Monday. Lok added further that the Transport Safety Investigation Bureau Singapore would help to retrieve the data, while the head of the Air Accident Investigation Bureau, Tan Chi Ki, has gone to Singapore to oversee the process. He also stated that a report on the preliminary investigation onto the crash, prepared by AAIB with the help of the United States National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, would be released within a month. The Beechcraft 390 Premier 1 aircraft flying from Langkawi to Subang crashed onto the Guthrie Highway at about 2:50 p.m. on August 17th, killing all 8 people on board, including Pahang State Executive Councillor Datuk Seri Johari Harun. An E-hailing driver and P-hailing rider on the highway were also killed.
Malaysia's gross domestic product, GDP, is expected to grow by 4.7% this year, with a forecast of 4.9% for 2024. Last week, the Department of Statistics Malaysia and Malaysia's economy expanded by 2.9% in the second quarter of 2023, supported by an improving labour market and the continued increase in domestic demand and tourism activities.
Irhami Ahmad, Managing Director of Irhami Valuers International Sdn Bhd, a part of Juwai Iki, said the growth would be attributable to a 30% increase in valuation jobs for large construction machinery and factory equipment. In a statement today, Irhami highlighted that no one should take Malaysia's strong performance for granted because the economy has had to overcome shocks such as the continued absence of Chinese tourists. Instead of tourism, he said the 3 sectors driving the positive outlook are the transition to net zero trade and the digital economy. He further emphasized that Malaysia's growing economy would need ever more power, so the transition to net zero would require replacing current power generation with greener alternatives and building entirely new green capacity right from the beginning.
Tropical storm Hillary hurtled towards the U.S. southwest on Sunday, August 20, where forecasters warned it would trigger life-threatening and catastrophic flooding amid historically large rainfall. Heavy rains and fierce winds have already begun to cause chaos on southern California roads as people fled the storm and some officials ordered evacuations.
Storm Hillary, which made landfall earlier in the day in the northern part of Baja California Peninsula, has been weakening over the last 48 hours. But according to Zach Taylor, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, it is still said to be the wettest storm ever to hit the U.S. Southwest that are more accustomed to dry conditions. Areas such as Palm Springs, California, which typically gets around 116 millimeters of rain in an entire year, could receive 150 to 250 millimeters inches this one storm. California's Death Valley area, which receive only about 55 millimeters of rain per year, could receive 75 to 100 millimeters from this event. Videos filmed by the Palm Springs Fire Department show water gushing over a road carrying sand and rocks along its way.
That's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Shal Tomato. Thank you for watching.